Morning students, this is HD Pawar Madam, Lecturer Department of Economics, Gokte, PU College of Commerce and Science, Belgaum. We will continue with the 8th part of national income topic. In the last class, 7th class, we have discussed, explained numerically all the three methods of calculating national income give the same figures. So we have explained that taking examples, and today we shall start with another question. Write down some of the limitations of using GDP as an index of welfare of the country. Write down some of the or mention some of the limitations of using GDP as an index of welfare of a country. Index means what? Measure. Now when we have to find the status of a country, we see what is the GDP of the country, and depending on the GDP figures, percentage of GDP figures, we determine where the country stands. So the aim of economic policy is to enable or to make sure welfare of the people. Okay, every government runs the economy to make sure that there is a welfare of the people, that is people are happy in the country, and welfare or well-being or happiness depends on use of goods and services that can be bought with money or income. Okay, we need to be happy or our welfare is to be achieved, then we need to use the goods and services, material requirements to satisfy our wants, which are available only with the help of money or income. Therefore, when there is increase in the increase in GDP leads to, GDP means what? The national income figures. The increase in GDP leads to more income and more welfare of the people of the country. It is assumed that, okay, when the GDP is high, then income of the people of the country is also high, and when income is high, welfare of the people is high. But this may not be true always. Okay, GDP is not a reliable index or reliable trustworthy measure of economic welfare for certain following reasons. Though GDP is an indicator of welfare, in fuller sense it cannot be considered when we have to measure the welfare of the people of the country, because of certain points we are going to discuss here. First one is distribution of GDP. Now see, GDP is what? The goods and services produced by the people of the country, and this same GDP, when it is multiplied in money value, it gets distributed among the people in the form of rent, wages, interest and profits. Okay, so distribution of GDP here. Welfare depends on GDP distribution. Along with increase in GDP, when GDP increases, if there is no equal distribution, okay, if there is no equal distribution, or if there is unequal distribution, or there is inequality in distribution of income among the people of the country, welfare cannot be achieved. Now say a country has done lot of economic development and GDP has increased, but that national income or GDP, if it is equally distributed, then we say welfare is achieved. But only few people are enjoying that rise in the GDP, then it will be not welfare of the people. That is, the rise in GDP may be concentrated in the hands of a very few individuals or a firm, and majority of the people may have remained poor. Only few industries are progressing and GDP is increasing, or very few rich people are becoming richer and sharing that GDP, and majority people are remaining poor. Then even though national income has increased, in that case we cannot say welfare is achieved. We cannot say welfare is achieved. You take the screenshot so that I can expand the screen. First point is distribution of GDP. Okay, with rising GDP there should be equal distribution. If it leads to unequal distribution, welfare cannot be achieved. Then second one, non-monetary exchanges. Non-monetary exchanges means you know what are non-monetary exchanges, that is barter system. There are many activities in the economy which are not evaluated or calculated in monetary terms. For example, firstly, domestic services. Domestic services means household services or services of a housewife are not paid for. Your mother, your sister who is working in the house, or you yourself may be working as a lady, may be working in the house, but you are not paid for doing housework. Okay, the exchange which takes place in the informal sector like agricultural sector. Agricultural sector is an informal sector, unorganized sector where there is no regular job opportunities. Okay, without involving money are called barter. Now I as a farmer may have produced wheat and you as a farmer may have produced paddy. Then we exchange some kgs of wheat and paddy without involving money, so that does not get reported in the national income figure. So to that exchange, that much GDP or that much goods are not included in the national income figures. So national income figures will show less figures to that extent. The exchange which takes place in the informal sector like agricultural sector without involving money are called barter exchanges, as goods it should be ARE, are directly exchanged for goods. But since money is not being used here, these exchanges do not get registered as a part of economic activity, and to that extent GDP gets underestimated and may not give exact level of welfare. Third one, externalities, very important. There will be a separate question for 4 marks on externalities. Externalities refers to benefits or the harm that may be caused by any economic activity of any person, a firm, unintentionally, without any intention, to other person or a firm for which they are not paid or penalized, means they are not punished for that. We will see with the help of example. Externality may be positive or negative. If the action caused by one leads to benefits, it is an positive externality, and if it leads to welfare. Example, any development work. If the action caused by one leads to harmful effects on the other, it is negative externality and reduces the welfare. But these externalities are not taken into account while calculating national income, as they cannot be bought and sold. Example, we will take factories. Take an example, a factory by the river side is a negative externality. Why? Because as it pollutes the river water and people living beside the river. Okay, because production is taking place due to that factory, that is a positive externality, but it is polluting the river water and the people living nearby that river and the fishes in the river, that is a negative externality. Similarly, production of crackers, fatakadi, that is, gives more tax to the government. It is a positive externality because it is increasing the national income of the government. But pollution created and health of the people affected by the crackers is a negative externality. I hope you are following it. The example explains it all. So, due to which you can just conclude, due to certain factors, therefore GDP is not the only reliable factor or measure of or index of economic growth. Then let's take another the same question. What do you mean by externalities? Mention its 2 types. The question comes for 4 marks. Externalities again refers to the benefits. It may either give good good effect or bad effect, that is benefit or harm a firm or an individual causes to other unintentionally. It is a result of economic activity. Okay, when it is not, it is a result of economic activity or not a result of any personal activity. Okay, means a person or a firm is engaged in some economic activity and its effects leads to benefit or harm, then it is called as an externality. Okay, and the two types are positive and negative externality. Example, an oil refinery. Now we can take example as a factory or oil refinery also, which refines the crude petroleum and sells in the market, adds value to the GDP. Okay, oil refinery, crude oil, it refines, that is kacha tel, it converts into petroleum and sells, then the value gets added in the market to the GDP. It is positive externality. But it may pollute a nearby river which causes harm to nearby people and fish in the river is a negative externality. Okay. Now write the formula. These are all 1 mark, 2 marks questions here. This identities I am going to discuss in a separate answer in the next class. Write the formula for GDP at market price MP and GDP at factor cost. Now GDP at market price is simply you will write what? C plus I plus G plus X minus M, that is the formula of expenditure method. That is C stands for private consumption in expenditure, I stands for private investment expenditure, G stands for government consumption and investment expenditure, and X minus M is net exports minus imports of the economy. You need to specify these C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Then what is GDP at factor cost? Factor cost means actual cost of production of the product. Okay, and GDP at market price means it includes all the indirect taxes in it. So when from GDP at market price, which includes all the indirect taxes, you deduct the indirect taxes from GDP at market price, you deduct NIT, that is net indirect taxes, you get GDP at factor cost, that is the goods produced at the cost of goods produced only. Okay, it includes only the factor cost, the cost of production of the goods minus the taxes, that is called as GDP at factor cost. So GDP, which is equals to GDP at market price minus net indirect taxes. Then we will take another screen here. Expand GNP at market price. Expand means you have to just write gross national product at market price. Then give the meaning of GDP. You are coming across the term GDP. So what is GDP? It is the gross domestic product. The gross domestic product is the aggregate or the total of final goods and services produced within the domestic economy, within the borders of the economy during a year. Then how do we get personal disposable income? This I am going to discuss in the next part. I have just included these 1 mark questions here. So PDI, personal disposable income, is personal tax minus the non-tax payment, that is from your personal income, whatever income you get from that, when you deduct the taxes, that is the income tax, direct taxes and non-tax payments, that is fines, fees, penalties, dues, you deduct everything and then you get personal disposable income. That is personal disposable income means after deducting all the direct, indirect, after deducting all the direct and non-tax payment dues, whatever is available at your disposal, whatever is available with you to spend the way you want, is called as personal disposable income. Then write equation of GVA at market prices. We have done this in product method. GVA is what? Gross value added. GVA at market price, gross value added at market price, is equals to GDP at market price. We have seen it already in product method. That is value of, what is that? GVA at market price is equals to GDP at market price, that is equals to what? Value of output minus value of intermediate goods. We get GVA at market price or GDP at market price. Then the last one we will do here. What is GDP deflator? What is GDP deflator? Now before going to this deflator, we have already done what is nominal national income and what is real national income. Nominal is what? Nominal national income is the goods and services are measured at current year prevailing prices or market prices, okay, which stands for capital GDP. And real national income, that is the goods and services produced in a particular year are valued at the prices of some base year, some previous year or some base year, and that is denoted as small letter GDP. So what is the GDP deflator? It is a measure of level of prices of all the new domestically produced final goods and services in an economy. That is, it measures the newly produced goods and services within the country, and it is the ratio of nominal to real GDP. That is GDP deflator percentage is what? Nominal GDP by real GDP price into 100. That is capital GDP stands for nominal price and small letter GDP stands for real price as a percentage, that is into 100. I think you have followed this much. Then we will continue in the next class. Thank you.